Tennessee sheriff opens new investigation into 2 deputies after Tyre Nichols body cam video release. Tyre Nichols, 29, was severely beaten during a traffic stop on January 7th, according to body cam footage, dying 3 days later. Right? Like I said, it's this is a little less bombastic than their usual titles. Usually there would be like, you know, Tennessee sheriff breaks open investigation into 2 deputies being assaulted during the Tyre Nichols body cam or whatever, you know. It would be much more emotive. So I'm kind of curious what we're going to get. All right. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office has placed 2 deputies on administrative leave following the release of body cam footage Friday evening of a traffic stop on January 7th showing officers severely beat 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. He died later of his injuries. Horrible video. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. It's not for the faint of heart. They just beat and beat and beat and beat him, and he's crying for his mom the whole time, yelling out for her. It's not something that anyone should have to watch. Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner Jr. said he decided to launch an internal investigation after watching the video. Having watched the videotape for the first time tonight, I have concerns about 2 deputies who appeared on the scene following the physical confrontation between police and Tyre Nichols, Bonner said on Twitter. He added, I have launched an internal investigation into the conduct of these deputies to determine what occurred and if any policies were violated. Both of the deputies have been relieved of duty pending the outcome of this administrative investigation. So, the officials were not named. In a separate statement on Facebook, the sheriff said that he was saddened and angry over the 5 police officers' actions that resulted in Nichols' death. My heartfelt condolences are expressed to the family and friends of Tyre Nichols. I am sad and angry about his tragic death. That really does a lot. Maybe train your guys not to just murder unarmed people. Maybe that's the way to go. The sheriff said moments like this tarnish the badge of other law enforcement officers. You're damn right it does. I am a second-generation law officer, and I am troubled by what we all saw captured on that video. This horrible incident tarnished the badge that I wear and that many other good officers wear every day, the statement read. I will do everything in my power to prevent another parent from having to bury their child in such a senseless and tragic way. Start with the training. All right? If you're teaching these boys that it's you versus the world, that everyone's a dangerous criminal, and that you can end up dead at any time, then they're gonna respond that way. That's just how it is. If you give them warrior mentality, they're going into it as a warrior. Tell them they're a public servant. That's what they are. They're there to help people, right? Isn't that like supposed to be the goal? That's like why people join as police officers, because they think they're gonna go help their community or whatever. Yeah, they're criminals, but most criminals aren't just gonna murder a cop, right? So instead, approach every situation like there's a human. I can tell you right now, if cops stopped shooting people, right? Cops stopped like murdering people that were unarmed, right? And we started seeing people shooting cops, I'd be spitting the other way. But it just doesn't happen. Many other law enforcement officers, politicians, sports personalities, and others have commented on the graphic footage released Friday evening, which showed several Memphis police officers repeatedly beating Nichols with punches, kicks, and a baton, which is true and horrifying. The footage, taken from body cameras as well as a nearby street camera, shows Nichols attempting to flee from the officers, who chase him down, tase him, repeatedly curse at him, punch him and kick him, spray him with pepper spray, and leave him bloodied and in a daze. And this is something I fucking hated when I was watching the video, okay? They are spraying him in his face with mace, right? They're spraying him with pepper spray in his face, right? And they're like, give me your hand, and then they spray him in the face with pepper spray. Like, as a human, that exists that knows how humans work. If I get sprayed in the face with something, I'm reaching for my face. If you want his hand, don't hit his face. Like, don't spray him with something in his face. That's not gonna work. It's gonna make it worse. The issue, again, is that, like, if you watch this, especially, this one is dramatic. The officers come out fucking 100%. They are aggro coming into this situation. They are screaming and yelling at the get-go coming for him. I gotta turn that down. But they are losing their minds from the start. From the very beginning of this, they are just... Come on. But from the very beginning of this, they're just absolutely off their rockers. It's something else, man. So they come out guns a-blazing, ready to fucking murk the shit out of this dude, and this dude's freaking out, right? When instead they could have come up to him and been like, hey, I'm gonna need you to step out of the vehicle. But nah, they came out and they're like, get out of the car! Get out of the fucking car right now! Get out of the car! And it's because they've been trained to do that. You gotta train them that they are interacting with other humans, you know, like other people. The incident took place on January 7th, and Nichols succumbed to his injuries 3 days later on the 10th. The 5 Memphis police officers involved in the incidents were identified: Desmond Mills, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, Tadarius Bean. Oh, that's a fake name. Tadarius Bean? Come on. That's a fake human. Tadarius Bean. Okay. And Demetrius Haley. Hey, man, you can't be bringing shame to the Demetrius name. That's not cool. Everybody fucking go watch Demetrius Johnson's fights. Demetrius Johnson's what's up. They were subsequently fired and faced charges, including second-degree murder. If convicted, they could face up to 60 years in prison. Mostly peaceful protests have sprung up in Memphis, Los Angeles, and Washington Friday night following the video's release. So that's actually, again, that's good, right? We want them to be charged, because if, like, you and 3 of your buddies decided you wanted to roll up on someone and you just beat them and then they ended up in the hospital and then they died 3 days later, you would all get charged with murder, right? Like, that's how it is. And to me personally, I think that cops who should know the law better than the average citizen should know how to enforce the law better than the average citizen. Your punishments should be harsher when you're caught breaking the law. End of story. You know it. There is no argument that you don't, right? There isn't. You are a law enforcement agent. And if you're going to argue that you don't know the law, then we got much bigger problems than you. Ooh. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting, and I'm happy that they're actually being charged. That goes to show that at least this sheriff believes what he was saying when he says, you know, I'm a second generation officer, this is bad or whatever. Because otherwise he'd be pushing to try and get the unions in and be like, hey, listen, come on. They didn't do anything wrong. But we'll see if they get convicted.